Yo, what's up this evening, folks, or earlier today, or whatever. This is Captain Crunch coming at you with another build video. I posted on Reddit a little while ago as Grathos, my other tag name, a build where I broke 2300 attack power, and people kept asking me how I did it and what the build was, so that was a different build, but I do want to show you my 2900 attack power build, and this is it right here. It takes a little cheesing to do, and it's a little impractical to get it all the way up to 2900, but as a standalone, it is a build that does a ton of damage. So let's get right into it. Cool Fiver, you are uncool. Walking up to me just trying to be up in my circle. So let's take a look at the gear as it stands right now. This is not a very heavily decoration dependent build, so this is something that anybody in the endgame can build and just needs to understand how it works. So obviously, if I'm going for the highest attack power I can, I am going to go with the Diablo Shatterer 2, the highest attack power weapon in the game by default. I go with the Grit Charm, Vitality Mantle, and Rocksteady Mantle. And then for the armor, we are going with the Rathalos Helm Beta. We are going for the 2 attack boosts there. We are going with Diablos Narrow Mail Alpha, Diablos Vambraces Beta, Diablos Narrow Coil Beta, and Diablos Narrow Greave A, or Alpha. And the skill set breaks down to this. We have maxed out Heroics, attack boost level 4, resentment level 3, maximum might 2, normal shots, which just comes on the armor, weakness exploit, and then fortify. So a great thing about this set is one of the ways that I was able to get the attack so high is, one, we have non-elemental boost from having the 4-piece Diablos, which means I didn't have to use a gem slot to put it in there to get the elementless for the Diablo Shatterer 2. And then I have Bludgeoner. And for those of you who do not know what Bludgeoner does, it raises the attack on my weapon as its sharpness goes down. So the Diablo Shatterer, which happens to have terrible sharpness, once it gets into that green, it gets a huge attack buff. I believe it's somewhere in the realm of 10%, which is pretty significant. So all in all, these pieces kind of combine well to create my Berserker build here. And so the skills right here, we have Heroics, and obviously once you get below that 35% health threshold, you are going to get a whopping 30% attack boost, which is just madness. And increases your defense by 40 points, which while on the low health is pretty nice, but your attack increased by 30% is just monstrous, especially when you're already hiking so much attack power. We have the attack boost level 4, which is great. That's going to give us, you know, our attack bonus here of plus 12 and then plus 5 affinity. And plus 12 doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're talking about a hammer that multiplies that value by 5.2, that really adds up there. I mean, you're talking about, you know, 62 more attack power, 63 more attack power. Then Resentment, which is the only other way I could really get the Heroics to work while boosting my attack power. And Resentment just says that while we have some red health missing, or we have the red portion of our health bar showing, we get attack boosted. So in this case I have 3 points in it, so that's 15 attack multiplied by 5.2, which adds up a lot. And then if we're in the 35% or lower range, that's going to get increased by 30% on top of all of it. So it's a pretty simple build, but really it just focuses on stacking all these different bonuses. The lower your health gets, the lower your sharpness gets, the more attack power you get to help mitigate those factors that kind of make you weaker throughout the fight. Which is also why I keep the Vitality Mantle. Vitality Mantle is clutch. When you get below that 35% mark, you just throw that on and stay there, and then you can just start wailing on the monster for huge damage. Just huge damage. But in order to get the Heroics level 3, you really got to have the Grit Charm, and that takes a little bit of farming. But this is the build right here. So let's kind of take a look at the decorations so you guys can see what I did here. These Mighty Jewels I just threw in here. I just didn't want to have to use the the Nergigante helm to get maximum might, but maximum might is great for the hammer because most of the time you're just standing there, just walloping the monster, and you're not losing any stamina, so you get a lot of crit from that. But you could really fill these 2 level 2 slots with anything that you've got. If you've got more attack jewels, I've got 270 hours in the game and only got 1 besides the one the game gives you, which is just insane. But that's how the cookie crumbles. And then we have the Tenderizer Jewel. I was lucky enough to get one of those to add some weakness exploit on top of the Mighty Jewel, which helps mitigate the negative 25 affinity on the Diablo Shatterer, so you can start seeing those crits, and those crit numbers get big. And other than that, I have the Fortitude Jewel. To really get the insane attack power, you have to die twice. It only stacks twice, but if you do it, that's still another 20% that you're going to get on top of that. So one of the things I really like to do, and when I farm or if I'm looking for tracks for threat level 2 and threat level 3 investigations, is I will actually go into an expedition, die twice, and then go hunt down some of these monsters, because you will just slaughter them wholesale, and it's pretty fun. Meanwhile, you're collecting all those tracks, and it really doesn't take that long to die in some of the areas where you're going to get the best investigations. But anyways, I have some footage about how I got that attack value all the way up to the 2891. So I hope you enjoy it, and until the next build, have a great time, guys. Good night.